Hello and welcome to the Cranky Old Gamer. Well, that time of year is upon us. It is almost Halloween, my favorite holiday. Halloween is just a lot of fun. You get to dress up and everything's horror themed and you get candy and it's the best holiday of the year. I love it. So a lot of people want to have Halloween parties and, have your friends over and do scary stuff. So I wanted to count down my 5 favorite Halloween board games. Now, there are a lot of other board games out there that maybe I haven't played, so I'm going to have some honorable mentions at the end that I base off reputation. But these games are 5 games that I have played, that I enjoy, that I think are perfect for your Halloween party. All right, so let's count them down, shall we? Starting with number 5. Number 5 is one of the best zombie games out there, and I don't put it at the bottom of the list because it's not my favorite game. I put it at the bottom of the list only because it is a little bit more involved and deeper than the rest of the games on here, and it's very bleak. Of course, I am talking about Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter is a wonderful zombie game. It is very, very difficult, very bleak, and you could have a traitor in your midst. You never know. So again, I don't put Dead of Winter at the bottom of the list because it's the lesser of all 5 games. I put it at the bottom because, if you're having a Halloween party, not all of your people might be gamers, and this one's a little tough to pick up. The setup is a bit involved, but once you get playing, it is one of my favorite games. It is so much fun, if you like a challenge, that is, and it gives you that visceral horror, despair feeling of a zombie apocalypse, and I absolutely love Dead of Winter. I think it's a wonderful game. You guys may have seen my review on it. I'm a big fan. Big fan of this game. As far as zombie games go, this is one of my favorites. So, but again, might be a little bit much for some of your guests if they're not all board gamers, so be careful on that one. So, but this is number 5, Dead of Winter. Number 4 is perfect for that party that's watching a lot of horror movies, particularly Friday the 13th. You know what I'm talking about. Last Friday. Last Friday is a hidden movement game. As long as one of you is a board gamer, you'll be okay. The rules are pretty simple for anybody that's not the maniac. This is, of course, Friday the 13th without getting the license to be Friday the 13th. It is one maniac hunting down a bunch of campers, and then in the mid-game, it flips, and the campers hunting down the maniac. There are some really good ideas in this game. You guys may have seen my review on it. I'm not the biggest fan of this game. It does have some flaws, but for a Halloween party, this game is perfect. It's great for a run-through. It's got some genuine scares, when you've got that maniac just breathing down your neck. And there's some really clever ideas. There really are. So, perfect theme for Halloween. Check this one out. And we have 2 hidden movement games in a row. Number 3 is actually one of my favorite games of all time, Fury of Dracula. This one, good luck getting a hold of it. It is out of print, but you can still find copies around. I love this game. It is a perfect one versus many, where one of you plays Dracula and the other remaining players play the hunters, tracking him down before his influence can spread darkness over all of Europe. I think this game is brilliant. It's not unbalanced, which is really strange because both sides feel very, very powerful. Dracula is excellent at evading the hunters. If they can't find you, you can win. However, as a hunter, you get all kinds of tricks up your sleeves, and if you run into combat with Dracula, he's in trouble. So it's all a big game of cat and mouse. I love Fury of Dracula, and this, with the horror theme, is perfect for a Halloween party. It is a little complicated, so if you have some non-gamers at your party, I'm trying to keep that in mind with all of my recommendations, but it's pretty easily taught. The rules are very straightforward. It's one of the few times Fantasy Flight Games actually has a good rule book. Who knew? Number 2 on our list is Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition. This is from Fantasy Flight Games, and this might be your party all-in-one. Sessions of this game are very lengthy. Your initial story, the tutorial, is about 2 hours long, ranging up to the final story, which is 6 hours long. Mansions of Madness is a Lovecraft Cthulhu game for 1 to 5 players, and there's a bit of a trick with this one. You actually have to use an app. You can use your phone, you can download it on Steam, you can use a tablet, you name it, but the game requires an app, and the app is going to be your storyteller. As you and the players follow the app's guidance, the app will tell you what to spawn where, and it'll recite story to you as it goes, and I think it's really, really clever. I really like the way this game plays, but be warned, this game is hard. You're going to fail quite a few times, but that just makes you want to play more. This is definitely an awesome game. I highly recommend it. It is a little bit on the pricey side. You're going to pay, if you buy a brand new copy, I think this is going for $85. But with all of the miniatures and all of the pieces involved, it earns that price tag. All right, guys, are you ready for our number 1 pick for your Halloween party? First, let's check out a couple of honorable mentions. All right, before I get to my number 1 pick for your Halloween party, I want to go with a couple. We're going to call them runners-up because they're not games I've played, but they're games that I know well by reputation. I'm going to start with Arkham Horror and Eldritch Horror, which are very, very similar games. You're going to see a lot of arguments online, which is the better of the two. They are Cthulhu-themed mystery-solving games. Very cool there. You got Elder Signs, which is a Cthulhu-themed dice-rolling game. Last Night on Earth, which is kind of a campy zombie survival game from Flying Frog Games. And Dark, Darker, Darkest, which is, of course, another zombie game. This one from Queen Games, and it's kind of a low budget. You're kind of trying to break into a government facility that's filled with zombies trying to find a cure. I've heard they're all good games. I've not played these, so I don't want to put them on my actual list. But from what I know about them, they're definitely worth checking out. So, are you guys ready for our number 1 pick for your Halloween party? All right, we are ready for our number 1 pick for your Halloween party. Can I get a drum roll, please? This game is an instant classic. It's been around for years. It is a polarizing title. Love it or hate it. Of course, I am talking about Betrayal at House on the Hill. Betrayal at House on the Hill is a terrible game and a wonderful experience. Let me clarify on that, because I have not actually done a review of this. I'm sure most of you have played this, not all of you. The way the game is played, it's in 2 phases. Number 1, you're building a haunted house, and as you're building it and drawing cards, events will trigger, and you roll to see if you're going to trigger the haunt. The haunt is the story of the game you're playing. Now, once the haunt is triggered, based on where it's triggered and what item triggered it, you look through these handy little books and you find what your haunt is. The core set comes with 50 different haunts. The expansion, Widow's Walk, comes with 50 more. So if you have both, there's 100 different stories you could be playing. Now, when the haunt is revealed, you look through the books, there's a chart. It is going to tell you who the traitor is, if you have one. There are a couple haunts that don't, where it's every man for themselves. But for the most part, there's almost always a traitor. And once you figure out who the traitor is, you have these 2 little books. One is Secrets of Survival. The other is the Traitor's Tome. The traitor takes the Traitor's Tome and leaves the room because they have separate rules from the survivors. The traitor doesn't know what the survivors can do, and the survivors don't know what the traitor can do. You don't always know what each other's your goal is. And from there on, it becomes survivors versus traitor trying to win the game. Now, where I say this is a bad game, because it's random how you build the house, and you never know who the traitor is going to be and where everybody's going to be located. A lot of the time, you're going to have a haunt that is poorly balanced. And that is the number 1 complaint about this game. There will be a haunt where you can't touch the traitor. There will be a haunt where the traitor can't possibly win. And it has nothing to do with how the haunt is written. It only has to do with the layout and where everybody is when the haunt is revealed. For example, I had one where I was the traitor, and I had hidden assassins that I could place in various rooms, and anybody that came through that room, I got to attack and possibly kill. Well, turned out what their goal was to get 2 items and bring both items to a specific room. It just so happened 2 of them already had those items, and they were 1 room away. I couldn't stop them. It was just the way the cards were drawn. But that doesn't always happen. I don't want you to think that's every game. Honestly, this game is ridiculously fun. It's very quick. You can play a game in less than an hour. And the haunt stories are fantastic. They range anywhere from like legitimate scary horror to wacky, campy B-movie horror. Now, I don't want to spoil anything because, like I said, with 50 haunts, half the fun is finding out what your haunt is and trying to figure it out. And if you already know the haunt, you already know how to win for your side. So I'm not going to spoil that. But what I will say is you're almost never going to play the same game twice. And you can always do the most popular house rule, which is, mark off what haunts you've played with a pen. And if you get one you've already played, you keep going. You consider it a failed haunt roll, keep playing until another haunt is drawn. So guys, there you have it, my top 5 picks for your Halloween party. I know my Halloween party is going to be Betrayal. We're going to play some Fury of Dracula, possibly Dead of Winter, and I don't know, I've had some interest in Last Friday. We'll see how that goes. Last Friday can be a long game. But yeah, all of these games are fantastic. I think you're going to have a great Halloween. So until next time, guys, don't forget to check out my website, thecrankyoldgamer.com. While you're there, you can look at all my videos and you can read any kind of blog entries. Also, don't forget to check out my Instagram, The Cranky Old Gamer. And if you like what you see and you want to help out my channel, donate to my Trick or Treaters Fund, please do consider donating to my Patreon. There's a link at the end of the credits. And if you donate, you get your name in the credits of every episode. All right, guys, thank you all for watching. This has been my top 5 Halloween picks. We'll see you later.